Yeah, I had a very nice little getaway this weekend. I took the kids for an end of the summer getaway to New Jersey. We have a beach place in New Jersey, and so I get there, and I always go up into my mom's room, and kind of just check the whole house. So I get up to my mom's room, and my sister is close the door.
When you say your mom's room, I mean, you didn't find my underwear in there or
It's a
anything.
family beach house.
Well, when
I
you
thought
say,
I thought it was one of those things that the football players work out with, the parachutes.
what about you? Wait, what about you? Doesn't your dad live there too? Do your parents sleep apart?
No, no, I mean it's my dad's room. Yeah, I just said my parents' room.
Okay. I was just
Yeah,
making sure that things are on the. I know
yeah.
that your mom and I have had a thing. I was just making sure that,
No, I don't think the old man has gotten wind of that yet.
Okay, so you're in the parents' room. Okay.
No, I knock it's locked and it's never locked. And so my sister's in the room, and I'm like, what are you doing? And I look, and the fucking room is completely like redone. TV's turned around, moved. Clothes are, their clothes are in the dressers and everything. I said,
So it looked like Kanye had been in there rearranging everything, trying to.
yeah, it looked like my parents had been evicted. Now my sister and her husband,
Oh,
who's
so it looked like a burglar had been in. Like it looked like a mess, or did
it just looked like somebody was moved out. Somebody, that one owner was moved out and a new owner was moved in.
Okay.
And so I said,
Fucking weird.
what do you,
Fucking
yeah,
weird. Yeah.
and my sister and her husband, okay, backstory, they live there, all right, year round.
Okay.
Because they stay at the beach and work.
Do they pay
right?
rent there? Do they pay rent, or do they live
No.
there? Okay.
No, but they pay the bills.
The utilities. Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. My dad just lets them do that, stay there with no rent. And I said, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you moving mom's shit around? She's like, we stay in here when they're not there.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So I didn't really feel too cool about them sleeping in my parents' bed and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? Because they go there regularly. I've noticed that my mother and father, they don't go there as much anymore. Okay.
They don't go to that house anymore.
Yeah. And
it's a long trip. It's a long drive. They've been there, done that. I mean, I'm sure.
Bullshit. They do it all the time. They kind of just don't want to say anything, I think.
Oh, so your sister and her boyfriend have started to infringe upon private areas of your parents.
Yes.
Your parents don't want to make it a big deal. You see the conflict and you stepped in to resolve the conflict. Boom.
Right.
All right. So you knew this conflict was coming. So you walk in and you're like, all right, let me step in for my parents, which is
a little bit more.
Yes.
Besides my parents' room. Okay. They've installed video cameras
in the house.
Okay.
Put you on video cameras in your house. Like what are you, Hunter Biden? Like trying to.
I don't know. There's two, there might be three, and whatever ones that I don't know about. Okay. They're extremely frugal. In other words, if I go there and I fucking leave a bunch of lights on, they give me shit. I mean, they're very like controlling. All right.
Gotcha. So they're paying for no rent. They're paying for the utilities, and instead of viewing this as a privilege, like a nice thing, they're viewing it as this is our fucking house now. And
we take care of it.
Yeah.
We're gonna make the rules.
Yeah, we live here. Fuck you. We pay for it. So they've established domain and pissed on a family home instead of realizing that
on top of it, they get a free vehicle that they don't pay for, that they both use to go back and forth to work and back and
their
forth to
vehicle
Virginia.
now, 'cause they pay for the gas and the oil.
The
It's
gas,
the
yeah,
motherfucking vehicle now, bitch.
right.
My vehicle.
Anyway,
Yeah,
it just
I
got
get
a
it,
little
I get
too, it just got a little too much, because my parents just want peace. They don't really want to fucking
It-
argue and back and forth.
yes, they did this out of the goodness, out of being good
Yeah.
parents, and it started to backfire. And so,
My other brother, about 6 months ago, it might have been last Finney.
okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
He went up there with his friends, and like he didn't go by the rules, and they basically like ran him out of there. It's just a bull. It's a takeover.
it's also from their perspective, it's a weird situation to have a house that, yes, it's been given to you, right? But you feel like this is our home. We want to live a normal home, and it's still a fun vacation house for the family. But they've all
Right.
grown up. They've grown up in this environment. Your family always has
Yes.
a rotating group of people coming through, so it shouldn't be a shock to their system.
Right.
I think their perspective might be a little off, where now they think that's their house and they're trying to sort of ward people away. But what they need to realize is this is summer. During the winter, you're not going to be up there.
No doubt.
They can be during the summer. You need to open your minds and hearts to the family.
You're nothing. You're just another. You're just another family member. You get no priority.
Correct. Yes. So you're doing. I actually agree with you. You're laying down. I understand that they feel how they feel, but they're wrong. And I understand based on what I know. And
Right.
again, I'm listening to your side, but
Right.
I understand 100% how you feel right now and how they feel. So you came in, you saw that room, and you started to boil up, didn't you? You started to fucking boil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I said, and she was standing right there. I said, "What are you doing?" She says, "Mom and Dad know that we sleep in here when they're gone." I was like, "I don't give a shit what they know. Get your shit. Get this room back the way it was. I want everything out of here of yours, and everything back the way it was." Okay. Yeah. When I come back, if it's not done, I'll do it. I'll if you don't move out of here, I'll move you out of here.
Yeah. Do it.
I'm gonna move. Okay.
Yeah.
And my sister went batshit and screaming and yelling and
got her poor husband into it. That poor bastard.
yeah. And she must have called. He wasn't there.
Oh.
So she must have called him like maybe before I even went in there, because I diffused the situation.
How?
I was like, "Look," I said, "Get your shit out. If you don't do it, I will."
That's your diffusing. I like that.
Yes.
So you threw a little gas on it, right? You
And I walked away.
Yeah, the walking away was the diffusing. Okay.
That's diffusing.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
By the time I went out in to get my luggage and came back, the husband was there.
Okay, now tell me about the husband. First of all, how long have they been married?
They've been married, I think it's going on, this will be 2 years.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Early, so he's still trying to like be a good. Yeah. He's like, "Oh, freshly married. I got to keep this going." No kids, right?
No.
So
No
still,
kids.
still full of energy.
Yeah.
Not worn out from no sleeping. They're all about themselves. It's our world. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Okay. By the way, your hair looks great next to Clint Eastwood's. He had great hair. Your hair looks fucking great next to Clint's. But go ahead.
So I'm coming up the stairs, and I'm pretty fuming, and I see this fucking guy, and I'm like, "Not today. I'm not listening to your bullshit," because he's one of the.
Wait a second. So in general, before we get there, what do you think of this guy before this episode?
Before this episode,
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about him. but
Right.
that'll come in later.
Yeah, I can tell. Well, I can tell. I just
No.
what's his
There's
how big is he?
6'3", 4, good shape, pretty solid.
Like what, 210, 6'3", 6'4", 220?
I'd say he's very thin.
So
But-
probably 195.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, but still tall.
6'3", 6'4". He's not 6'5". He's like
look,
6'3", 6'4".
like the type of guy everyone says you used to play basketball too.
Yeah, that's what he looks like, one of those guys.
Yeah. By the way, you hear what I have on for you, right?
Yeah, fuck that.
Go ahead. So you come up, you're pissed.
So I got to get back to your question. How do I feel? I've always gotten along with him, and I've always been cool, and I've always really gotten along with Rhonda, and kind of
your sister.
my sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, he comes up and he's like, "Hey, Jimmy, well, what's the matter? Come on, we talk."
He's Italian.
No, he's Greek.
Same thing. Yeah, it's pretty much
Same shit.
Hey, buddy. Hey, yeah. They all talk like that.
Well, yeah, I mean that he married her to get his visa and all that other bullshit.
Well, good for him. He's got a visa now.
Yeah.
So a restaurant.
So he's he's like, "Hey, come on, what we go? Don't worry, we talk about it. What's the problem? You want to talk? We talk." Yeah. And that pissed me off because I felt he was just kind of
a little bit too formally, juvenile play. When you're pissed off, you don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah. And
with you.
And so I said, "Fuck you." I said,
"Yeah,
I don't give a shit what you do here, but you ain't going in my fucking parents' house again. I mean, in my parents' room
again."
I told him the same thing I told her. I said, "This ain't a discussion. This is an order. And get the fuck out." And he got, he got what seemed like he was kind of aggressive, but it was just really weird.
You know anything about his fighting background? Have you?
No, I don't.
You've never asked him if he's been in a fist fight?
Never has come up. Never has come up. Okay. So he starts walking towards me. So he starts walking towards me. All right.
Yeah, whenever somebody says "go fuck yourself" and they walk towards you, you gotta.
No, he didn't say. Now wait, he didn't say "go fuck yourself."
No, you basically said "fuck off." Then he walked towards you, which is basically an acceptance of your terms. It's like it's like a guy's way of saying your terms are acceptable, and I have accepted your terms, and I'm going to physically join this party. Yeah, unless you're going. I'm going to hug you. I would like to hug you, Jimmy. Turn around. I'd like to hug you from the back. We are Greek.
So he comes toward me, and I look at his jaw, and it's a perfect. He's
chiseled,
like sculpt. Yeah, chiseled. I look at his jaw, and it's a perfect target. And I just say, "Don't do that." And so
the devil on one side says, don't do that.
Right. I just
devil on the other side says, do it. It's just like that scene from Animal House. If you lay one finger.
No, I was gonna do it. 1,000,000% I was gonna do it.
Yeah.
And the angel came on and said, "Come on, don't do that.
Just do a 2-finger. Just do it. Do a couple."
Yeah. So instead I pushed him.
Okay.
All right. So, oh fuck, man. He was a lot more solid than I thought. Because he didn't go nowhere.
Yeah, you felt that. Yeah.
It was more like I pushed myself back. And,
oh wow.
No, I mean
how much you weighing? How much you weighing right now?
I weigh like 195.
So yeah, he's probably 225 then. 225.
I mean, he's bigger than I am, but
yeah,
not by much.
6'3", 195 Spindly. He would have gone flying. He's probably 225, 235. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm terrible at that, but
because me when I'm 6'5", 235, I look very skinny. Like and yeah, it's a whole thing. But either way, go ahead.
So I push him, doesn't do shit, and he starts coming back.
Oh, he's accepted your terms. Okay.
again.
Yeah, he's accepted. Now you know, okay, we have an agreement. You know, you've
So-
countered offered. He's countered your counter offer.
Right,
Yes.
right.
So, yeah, no, I'm with you. So far, 100% makes sense.
So as he's coming back towards me,
And then he swung at you like you told me via text, and you had to defend yourself by slapping him.
yeah, and so I gave him a like on the ear, and both hands, boom, boom, right?
Oh, on either side of you gave him a double ear pop.
Wait a minute, no, it wasn't both hands. It was a slap.
Oh, a one-handed double slap.
Yeah,
Holy
it was a
shit.
one-hand double.
Like they used to do when they had a glove.
Right, like the Three Stooges.
Yes. Yeah, just like a
Yeah.
playful Three Stooge thing, but with your hand and back kick.
Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't. It was whatever. And by the time, and
Had he been drinking?
no,
Dude, you still got it. You remember when you tripped across the fucking highway
Not
like
that I-
a freak?
anyway. So now
You were able to pull off a double slap against a guy like that?
here comes
Come
Rhonda.
on. Okay.
Now here comes Rhonda. Oh my God, you've assaulted my husband. I'm calling the police.
Well, she
That's-
has to say that. You know?
I'm like, motherfucker, all I want to do is come here and have a decent time.
and
and-
where are the kids while all this is happening?
They haven't come in yet. They're outside getting luggage and shit.
Oh, they're getting whose luggage? This is early? This is that fucking early? What do you mean getting luggage?
This is the minute we got there. So they're carrying our bags.
You're fucking kidding me. It happened that fast.
The second we got there, we drove in and shit happened.
Your son Johnny slapped somebody recently, right?
I think that's been a long time.
It was like 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that.
At Virginia Tech, I think.
It was at Virginia Tech. It was during football season. It was probably 8 months
Yeah.
ago. Do you think it's genetic?
No, I think it's smart because you don't want to break your hand.
But you could use the palm. Elbow, knee, foot. But yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna fucking use my knee. I don't know shit about using my knee.
Well, headbutt, bam, just smack somebody in the head, right in the bridge of the nose. Have you ever done that? You ever been headbutted? We used to.
But anyway, they
suck.
she went batshit. I was like, man, fuck this. I'm gonna go to the beach. I told the kids, let's go to the beach, and we went. I came back and they weren't there. I didn't see them the whole time because I think that you had an idea over text.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, just like Will Smith.
So let me back up and sort of. So we had an episode previously, and we always bring things back to prior episodes. So for those watching this for the first time, we just last week did a how Will Smith can solve things with Kevin Hart by offering up a slap to Kevin Hart in front of his mama and in front of Kevin Hart's mother and his brother. And I thought that would be best for Will Smith because Will Smith would offer his jaw. If Kevin Hart did it, he'd be a hero and Will Smith would be a hero. And that'd be awesome. If Kevin Hart took the high road and walked away, still both awesome. And so I offered that up to you and said, you should offer up a reconciliation slap so that Rhonda doesn't, take it up a notch and whatever, which, we can't just throw this shit out and not try it in real life. This was a great place to use it in the real world and see if it actually worked. So what happened?
Never saw him.
Did you? Yeah, you still haven't seen your sister then, huh?
Nope, haven't seen my sister, haven't seen the guy. I left the house spotless. I wasn't like, well, fuck them. I'm going to, just leave it in disarray.
They never came back to their own house.
It's not their house. It's my house. It's the family house.
Bitch. It's their house.
Family. It's the family house.
So they left their own house and left you in that house and never came back. How long were you there at their house?
4 days, 5 days.
Holy shit. Where did they go?
I just came back to. I mean, they work there. They must have stayed at a friend's house or something. And they have family there. His family has a restaurant.
Of course they do. That's what.
Of course.
a
Yeah, it's a Greek. It's a Greek family.
A Greek Italian restaurant. Shocking.
It's a Greek family with an Italian restaurant.
Shocking. Who could have ever guessed that? In the thing? Yeah. Do you usually eat their food while you're there?
I go to their restaurant, but I pay every time.
How is their food?
Decent.
It's
maybe a Maggiano's. Probably not as good.
So it's like a 6.7 out of 10, something like
Yeah,
that.
it's probably a little
5,
notch
6.
below Maggiano's.
Why can't these fucking Greeks get their goddamn Italian right? Like they just don't put in the love that you put into it to an Italian dish. You have to love the ingredients. They just don't love the goddamn ingredients. They just buy this frozen lamb and fucking throw down some shit. I don't know why, but I've been to
Because they're not Italian.
You gotta love the ingredients. Well, most Italian restaurants in the States suck too. Like, do you know how many people in Florida think the Olive Garden is the greatest Italian restaurant they've ever been to?
Yeah, it's bad.
Garbage. It's garbage. When we get together, I'm gonna make you some whatever the hell you want. You basically say, I want to, my family likes this. Before you come, I'll, kind of say, hey, what do you guys like? And then I'll make you fried clams for your father. I'm gonna steal some
oysters.
But no, I won't do that. But I will make you food and show you how to make love to the ingredients. Spend time with each ingredient so that it becomes great. So this guy, you're gonna see him next Wednesday.
So the guy.
You're
Who knows?
How about have you reached out to your sister since?
Yeah, no, I don't know when I'm going to see him again.
Have you talked to your sister?
Nope.
What do you think's going to happen?
I don't know. I'm not going to apologize that I know of. I don't know. I don't think I'm wrong.
Well, here's what I would say. I would say, look,
I don't think I'm wrong.
Here's what I would say. I'm dead serious. And I'm pretending I'm you for a second. I'd be like, look, you're welcome. And she'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Be like, you're welcome. I could have hit him and wanted to hit him. And I gave him a gentle slap for you. And you know what would have happened if I had hit him. So the fact that I slapped him is both a sign of respect to him as your husband and you as my sister. So I slapped him out of respect. You think it's disrespect, but the truth be told, you know what I wanted to do at that point. Next time, tell him not to walk towards me. He was walking towards me.
I mean, doesn't everybody know you don't walk towards somebody? I didn't walk towards him.
You should.
I didn't want to find me.
And this is how you find out not to walk towards somebody.
Right. And hey, on his behalf, he handled it fine. He got slapped and he just stood there and he didn't attack me or anything. So, I mean, I'm not calling him a pussy or anything because I don't think he was, but I think he was just out of line. And I mean, it's just common bad manners, Well,
I don't consider this his fault. I consider this a general. I don't really consider it your fault or your sister's fault. This is just what you would call a general conflict, a communication that needed to happen, and then a standard sort of guy fair mini because guys don't really talk. You guys didn't really talk it out. It's just that's how you talk it out.
If the guy came in, if the guy walked in my house right now and said, hey, that was stupid, I would say, yeah, it was stupid. Fist bump.
Yeah,
done. Squash.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no animosity. You were pissed off about a greater thing, and
Right.
the fact that they left you alone for 5 days, or how long you were there without.
It was wonderful. I mean, I had a little bit of a twinge because it was just a shitty feeling to get into it with, have your sister screaming and yelling. And
Especially a sister you love that much. You love
but
that.
listen, these kids are a fucking pain in the ass when I go up there. The fact that they left was very nice.
Yeah, what did your kids think of all this after they heard? And by the way, stop dipping and start taking shots of bourbon, for Christ's sake. Instead of
Shut
dipping,
your fucking mouth.
you're dipping. Look at this. Beautiful bourbon on behalf of you slapping a man. By the way, you are back. You're back from your fall. You're back from falling in the middle of the road, and you're back on the right track. A double slap. I mean, it wasn't even a single. Like, that's impressive. That's impressive. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Beans.
I was with you the whole way, trying to make sure you didn't get arrested and coaching you through. And I always will be. But that guy attacked you. So I'm glad that, you handled things appropriately. And I hope things work out between you and your sister. Truly. You shouldn't let that sort of stuff come in the way. But
she's a nice kid, and I've always gotten along really well with her. And I feel sick because of this.
Is she hot? Is your sister hot?
She's cute.
Okay, so I mean, other people think she's hot. Like
Definitely.
That's how she got a big, tall Greek guy that's in shape.
Definitely.
Okay. So you've had to deal with asshole friends trying to bang her.
We've got along. We've never had a cross word, and
Ever.
She just fucking went no, and she just went fucking berserk. Well, I've never seen her like that.
Well, when it comes to her, man, good for her, and truly tell her congratulations again. She's not wrong for that. There was a
no. I say she went berserk the minute I walked in. It had nothing to do with her man being.
It was about the whole.
It was me questioning her.
Questioning the. Yeah, I mean, and you just say, look, this is just out of thing. This is where they fuck. Like, you could probably, if you sniff that bed, you could probably smell my father's cum, on the bed. What are you doing in here? Why do you want to sleep where you can literally smell the sex that created you? That'll creep her out enough to get her the fuck out of there. Like, I mean, literally, it'll be like, you smell that in there? Smell it?
You know what they do? You know what they did?
Is it Mom's bush?
You know what else they did?
Yeah.
You know what else they did?
What?
They fucking.
You don't think that would work? She'd be out of there in a second. She would never be able to sleep. She'd be like, can you light a candle? No, it's not.
The video cameras are way out of bounds. But also, they took it upon themselves to change the TVs and completely, like, my dad goes in, he knows how to get to Andy Griffith. He knows how to get to you.
Your dad still watch Andy Griffith? No, your dad still watches Andy Griffith, bro. You're. I'm gonna wait for that answer because it's just too good. Let me put on nobody because I just got paid. Your connection is off a little bit. Let me put on something. Let me put on a good song. Let me put on some good shit for the fans here that are listening on Spotify. We have coming up next some funky shit. We got funky shit by Dragging the Line. This is Tommy James and the Shondells.
Way, taking and giving my day by day. I did snow and rain and the bright sunshine. Dragging the line. My dog Sam eats purple flowers.
And for those that don't know, the Shondells were the ones that did Crimson and Clover.
Is this better?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I was when we left each other, uh, much like your sister and her husband will do at some point. Um, we were talking. We were talking about how you can actually creep her out without any sort of violence by bringing up the fact that can you imagine how many times my father's banged your mother right there in that bed? I mean, she's probably doggy this way. I mean, you don't have to go that graphic, but the smell, the sex smell, just like shit. You might have been a
Just the musk.
the Musk. I mean, they had a bunch of kids, right? They didn't just have sex 6 times. How many kids do they have? 6?
No, they have fucking 10 kids.
They have 10 kids. 10 kids. They did a ton of fucking. And then when she wasn't able to have kids anymore, they would just go up there and fuck. This was probably their porn room. You should. They would just come up here.
You're on the wrong subject. We were talking about Andy Griffith. You're talking about my father boning my mother.
Yeah, but that's how you get your. So it's a little bit disconcerting to you as an adult male. It's a little bit weird to think about your father banging your mother that many times, but to her, it will be like kryptonite to Superman. You lay that shit down on her, and you do it in your own way. You don't have to do it the way I do it, but you do it in your own way and be like, God, how many times? How can you?
Nobody can do it like you do it.
How can you do it in a room? How could you sleep with your man in a room knowing that mom and dad have fucked in this bed that many times? Like how
you do it, you do it for me because I'll send her this fucking thing. And make
You should. I couldn't sleep. Look, I cannot sleep when my parents were out of town.
Eric,
right
now.
Yeah.
I want you to give a heartfelt message to Rhonda.
Well, I can tell Rhonda is a good person. You've never had a conflict with her, and she's sweet, and she's married, a very handsome, strapping immigrant. And kudos to you for standing up for him. I'm not going to get involved with the family stuff with the house.
No, the bed. Talk about the bed.
But what I will say is this: when my parents went out of town, I'd have chicks all over the place, and I could never fuck in my parents' bed. I couldn't get it up in there. Knowing my mother's big furry bush was sitting there, and my father had been plowing through her, and just knowing that had happened in their bed, like now. Does Rhonda have huge tits? This is a real question. I'm not saying that, but does she have big tits?
No, normal.
Okay, so her man's probably not into mothers and stuff. Good for him. He's not creepy. Women with huge tits, the guy usually loves their mother to a weird extent. Knowing that you're normal, going into that actual bed where your parents have fornicated, doggy style, grabbing her hair, going down on each other, jerking off on the pillows that you're probably putting your heads on right now, over 50 years or 40 years or 30 years or however many years. The fact that you're going into the bathroom that your father went into to wash himself off after being with her mother, your mother went in to wash herself off after being with a father. The fact that you went after 2 years of marriage to bring that energy, to bring your love and romance into that, and because things live on beyond you. I mean, these moments, they don't just happen and they're gone. If you kill somebody in a room, you don't want to be in that room. If somebody commits suicide in this room will forever be haunted. That room's haunted by your father banging your mother thousands of times, like over and over. The walls are covered with DNA, and how you could ever find that to be an appropriate place to be for you and your new love. You're not going to make a baby there. Are you really going to make a baby there? It might be your father's baby, for all you know. It might be some old, very, very hardy semen that's lived on the wall that your husband accidentally grabbed before he, dug his fingers in to make you happy. And I'm just saying,
I can't believe I'm on this fucking show.
Probably best that you go back to your own room and that you I'm trying to help her, man. I'm trying to help her out, man. I would not want.
I'm not saying nothing.
I'm not. I would not want to personally be there. I'm trying to do this.
My head. I come in late at night, and in the morning I just lay in bed.
In the morning, you just lay in bed where your father and your mother, fornicated 15 years before. It's not even fresh. It's not even like fresh. It's like meat that's been sitting in the fucking garage for 15 years. It's not even that fresh smell of semen that you have when you just come in and somebody's just fornicated. You're talking about meat that's been dead for 20 years, shit that's just been sitting in there. You're not even finding like a new pubic hair. You're finding like a pubic hair from 1978, shit that
Yeah.
have to carbon date it. Yo, in the bathroom, you're brushing your teeth. Good luck with that. Like, why would you even do that when your parents were?
This is such a low moment in my life that I'm sitting here listening to fucking you be as graphic as you possibly can
By the
about
way,
my parents.
You asked for this. Let me just throw this out that you requested this moment. Okay, so
That doesn't mean it looks good on me.
it doesn't have to look good on you, and neither do your dad's old teeth have to look good on her. It's time to find your own room. It doesn't need to be. There's probably other demons in the room you're in, but that room has been disparaged. Your father's a man. Your mother's a real woman. 10 kids? That's 10 kids worth of. You don't want to be in there, man. That's like 10 suicides. It's like 10 dead bodies. You want to stay the fuck out of that room.
Yeah.
If you want to go back, just give her carte blanche. Send her this, and if she still wants to go in there, just let her do it. Let her free will is much more important than force. You never want to tell somebody you can't. Just give them the reasons that they shouldn't, and if they still want to stay there, they should stay there forever. If that's their thing, like if they want to keep fucking in that room with 10 dead bodies in there, let them do it. And then go in there and smile every time you see them and say, congratulations on your marriage.